I gotta get movies.
You gotta keep them separated.
YouTubers, Rat Flicking back with another DVD/Blu-ray update. I'm actually going to do my first DVD/Blu-ray update. Recently picked up a Blu-ray player. After so long of not having a Blu-ray player or a PlayStation 3, I finally decided to pick one up because, like I always say, every time I go to stores now, there's always so many options that are only on Blu-ray. And there's usually movies that I want, but I can't pick them up because I don't have a Blu-ray player. So I finally picked one up. I'm actually really happy now that I got one because there's so much more titles now that I could pick up. So today I got a really big update. I'm smoking a little bit of hookah right now because this is kind of like an impromptu thing that I just kind of did out of nowhere. So I'm going to, apologize for the smoke ahead of time. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to show the Blu-rays first that I got. I got a bunch. I've been really going a lot to Best Buy and doing the trade and save, which is where you bring in, you can bring in up to 5 DVDs. They have to be DVDs, but you could bring in up to 5 of them, and for each one that they accept from you, you get a $5 off coupon off of any Blu-ray, $10 and up. So I did a lot of that this weekend, over the past week actually. So okay, the first Blu-ray that I got is the Blu-ray Blu-ray plus DVD combo pack of Die Hard with a Vengeance. Now I don't have too many action films, and I definitely don't have any Die Hards, but this is the only one that I really liked. I've seen pieces of the first one; it seemed pretty good, but this one I saw on TV a couple months ago. This is the one with Sam Jackson, and this is just like, this is a really good action film. I haven't seen an action film quite like this. Bunch of action, bunch of running around New York City, bunch of explosions, chases, shootouts. Great cast. It's just really fun, great movie. So yeah, I picked this up. I didn't use the coupon though. I just Amazon price matched it down to about, I think, 11 bucks. So I got that first. Next one I got also at Best Buy, and it's the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of Kick-Ass, the first one. Love this movie, absolutely great movie, and I'm really can't wait for the sequel that's coming out. I believe in about 2 weeks, or I think it's next weekend actually. No, I think it's about 2 weeks. So yeah, I really can't wait to go see that. But everybody knows this film. I'm not gonna talk too much about this. Really good action horror film. I mean action comedy film. Sorry. All right, another one that I got, another Blu-ray. This is just standard Blu-ray though, no DVD. And it is the comedy 50/50 with Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I love Seth Rogen. Anything he does is usually really good to me. I did see one recently that he did that was like really weird. I don't even remember the name of it, but it had the girl from like Dawson's Creek, and it wasn't funny to me, and it was just really weird, and I ended up turning it off. I didn't enjoy that one at all, but pretty much everything else Seth Rogen does is really hilarious to me. I just love Seth Rogen and Judd Apatow. And Judd Apatow didn't direct this; he had no part in this, I don't think. But it's just a really good film about this guy Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, and he lives a really healthy, good life, but he somehow gets cancer. So then Seth Rogen is he's kind of a jerk friend in the beginning, and he pretty much makes the guy use it just to pick up women and stuff like that. But then he does help him through this breakup he goes through, and he helps him get back to normal. And it's really good comedy. Some good drama in there too. The next one I got, I already had on DVD, but I always wanted the 2-disc collector's edition just because I liked the way the case looked. So I went ahead and picked up the Blu-ray now of this, now that I have a Blu-ray player, and it's a 2-disc director's cut of Zodiac. This is a great film. If you like, I'm actually going to hang this up. If you like crime mystery films, this is one of the best. Of course, it's based on the true story of the Zodiac killer that was, he was a serial killer throughout the 60s and 70s and a little bit of the 80s. He was killing people throughout California, and of course he was contacting the newspaper and the authorities the whole time using the name the Zodiac. And it's got a really good cast. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal and a couple of other people that I can't really remember their names right now. But it's really long, so definitely you're going to have to spare about 2.5, almost 3 hours if you want to watch this film. But I love it. I absolutely love this film, and they show it on TV sometimes. You can catch it on TV. The next one I got is another Blu-ray, and it is Straw Dogs. Pretty good film. It's got the dude, forgot his name, I always forget his name. their names are up here, but I don't really know which one is which. But anyway, he's got the dude that played Cyclops in all the X-Men films, and it's just about him and his wife, and they go back to her hometown where she grew up in Mississippi, and her father owns a farmhouse, so he ends up buying it, and then they move back in there, and he's a screenwriter, he writes films, so they go over there to you know, have a nice place to hang out, and they start fixing the house, and so she ends up paying some guys that she grew up with, one of the ones that she used to date, and they pay the guys to fix the roof on the farm, and then it gets really messed up because the guys don't really like the, you know, the husband, because he's like a city boy and they're like country folk, so they give him a lot of shit, and then it gets really intense and a lot of good action. The ending is really, really good. The movie's a little bit slow in the beginning. There's like a lot of drama, a lot of weird stuff going on, but it picks up in the end and ends up being a really, really good movie. And the next one I have here is another Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital copy, and it is Prometheus. And this is a film that I never really thought I would get into or watch. The Alien films were pretty good, but I never really did like sci-fi too much. I'm not really too much into sci-fi or action, but I saw this one on HBO recently a couple months ago. I really liked it, and now that I have a Blu-ray player, I figured, oh, that's one film you definitely want to watch on Blu-ray. And it comes out really good on 1080. It's like super clear. The clarity is amazing. It's got great graphics, and it's got a pretty good story. And the ending is really, really good. So yeah, pick that up. The next one I got is a film that I've known about for a while, and I never really watched it though. But I always thought I would like it, and then when I did watch it, it actually wasn't too good. I mean, it's okay, but I don't really see myself watching this again. It was more like a one-time thing, and it is Lebeau Disturbia, and I got this on Blu-ray too. And if you don't know what this is just about Lebeau, and he gets into a car accident in the very beginning of the film, and his father passes away. So a year later, he's, you know, having a hard time, and he has a short temper because of that, and I think because he blames himself for the accident. So one day he ends up getting in a fight in school with his teacher, so he ends up getting put on house arrest for I think 3 months. So while he's on house arrest, he's kind of bored since he can't leave the house, so he just decides to start spying on his neighbors, and he starts suspecting that one of his neighbors might be a serial killer. So then, you know, he ends up, you know, trying to prove it, and, you know, people don't believe him and all that stuff because, you know, he's on house arrest, so they don't trust him. But it's okay. I mean, like I said, I don't really think I'll ever watch this film again, but it was good for a one-time view. Good time waster. The next one I got is a 2-disc unrated edition of Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly and Step Brothers. Now, this is a hilarious comedy. This is one that I've, of course, known about since it first came out. Will Ferrell, though, is kind of hit and miss with me. Sometimes I don't like his stuff he does, but sometimes he could be really, really funny to me, or he could be not funny at all. I love what he does on Eastbound and Down, the show with Danny McBride. But this one was actually really, 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 really funny. But you definitely have to watch it unrated. If you watch it on TV on a regular, you know, cable network, it's gonna kill it the way they edit it for content. But if you catch it like on a movie channel without them editing out the content, or if you can pick up the Blu-ray, the DVD, it's really, really, really funny. And it's just, you know, of course, everybody knows that these guys are like in their 40s, and one of them has a mom. I think, yeah, Will Ferrell's mom ends up marrying John C. Reilly's dad. So then they have to all move in together into one house. And then for like the first half of the movie, they hate each other. They're fighting all the time, but then they realize they're like each other's best friends, and it just gets really, really funny. And the next one I got, another comedy, another Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital copy. And this one is alright, but I decided to pick it up because it was on sale for $10. So with the $5 Blu-ray coupon, it was only $5. So that's pretty much the main reason I got it. And it's Jonah Hill and The Sitter. And this is like, you know, a throwback to the babysitter movies of the past. And, you know, it's like a small subgenre. There's not too many of them, but there's been a lot of babysitter movies that have come out. And it's just about him, and he thinks he's dating this girl. They're not really dating. She's kind of using him. But so one night he has to babysit these 3 kids. But then she calls him that she's at a party, and she says she wants to have sex for the first time because they've never had sex. So he really wants to make it to the party, but he has to bring the kids along. And then they get into a bunch of stuff. There's like cocaine dealers and gangs, and his car being stolen. You know, just, you know, a bunch of stuff happens along the way. It's pretty funny, I guess. I love Jonah Hill, but this is not one of his better films that he's been in. And the last Blu-ray I believe that I got is another comedy that I really, really liked. And I also always like shit that Paul Rudd's in too, so I went ahead and picked up the unrated copy of Role Models. Again, this was $10 on sale, so with the $5 coupon it was only $5. and this one is really, really funny. It surprised me how much I like this. And it's all about Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott. Everybody knows him as Stifler, and they're like spokes people for this energy soda, this energy drink. So they go from school to school, but then Paul Rudd has a bad day because his girlfriend breaks up with him. So he ends up his car's gonna be towed, and then he ends up getting in the car and trying to rip it off the tow truck, and then he ends up crashing to the statue. So they get arrested, him and Sean William Scott, and they're charged with a bunch of stuff, but they get let off with just community service. And in community services, they have to go to this organization called what is it called? It's like Sturdy Wings, and it's just like pretty much like Big Brother, Big Sister programs. So Paul Rudd ends up being the big brother to Christopher Mintz-Plasse. Everybody knows him as McLovin. He's really funny in the movie as well. And then Sean William Scott gets this hilarious little black kid named Bobby J. Thompson, I think it is, or Bobby J. Thomas. And that kid's just hilarious. He's like 10 years old, and he just curses more than anybody in the whole film. It's really, really funny. And it's got a bunch of good extras in it, so you should definitely check this one out. Alright, now on to the regular ones. This is a documentary that I saw a couple years back. I got it off of Netflix, and really, really liked it, so I decided to finally pick it up. It was always a little too high on Amazon, though. You're not going to really find this in stores, so I had to find it on Amazon. And it was always a little too high, but then I found it for pretty cheap, so I went ahead and picked it up. And it's this documentary called Double Dare. And it's all about the woman it's about two stunt women's lives. It's about stunt women. It's about stunt work in general, but mostly women. And it's all about two people. They're following two people. One of them is the woman that stunt doubled for Wonder Woman in the original show in the 70s. And she's in her 60s now, and she's still doing stunt work, but it kind of follows her, showing how she's older, so it's harder for her to get work. And then she's also a woman, so it's even harder for her to get work, but she's still struggling to keep her career going as a stunt woman. And then the whole time that's going on, Zoe Bell, who's this stunt woman in her 20s from New Zealand, and she stunt doubled Xena on Xenia. Oh my God, Xenia. She stunt doubled for Xena on Xena Warrior Princess the whole time that show was running in the 90s in New Zealand. But then the show ended up, not being canceled, but it ran its course, so it was over. So she was out of work, so she decided to go ahead and move to California to try to become a real stunt woman in Hollywood and do films. And it's really amazing. It's really fun. And her first break she catches right off the bat, she gets casted to play the stunt double for Uma Thurman in the Kill Bill film. So it's really, really good. I love documentaries, and this is one of the better ones. So yeah, you should definitely pick that up. The next one I picked up the Steelbook edition of Sukiyaki Western Django. Now this film is not for everybody. I let a couple people watch it in my house. Some of them liked it, some of them didn't. I think it's pretty good. It's from Takashi Miike, the same guy that made Ichi the Killer, and he made Audition. This is not as gory as those. This is not a horror film. And it's just all about this town in Japan, or in China, I'm sorry, I believe. And it has this gold, and there's these two gangs that have always been fighting over the power to run the town where the gold is at. And I don't remember the gang's names, but one of them is colors white, and one of them the color's red. And so in the end, they have this big war over who gets to fight, who gets to keep the gold. So yeah, this is the Steelbook edition. The disc is right here. Standard Steelbook. I got it off of Amazon for really, really cheap, actually. So yeah, I would suggest this film. It's pretty good. It's got a cameo from Tarantino. I don't think he had any involvement. Maybe he produced or something like that, but no, he didn't write. No, he didn't direct. But he's in the film for like 2 parts, real quick. But it's pretty good. It's got some good action. It's got some good cinematography. Takashi Miike usually has really good cinematography in his films. So pick that up. The next one I got here is the limited edition of John Carpenter's Halloween. Now, I finally decided to pick up because I've never had a real, big edition of Halloween, and that's one of my top all-time favorite films, period. And there's not too many good releases of that film. And, this is before I had the Blu-ray player, so I didn't want to pick up the Blu-ray. I couldn't watch it if I picked it up. But I always saw this one out there, and I always loved the little holographic interactive cover. I don't know if that's working right now. It might be kind of gleamy. But anyway, this one is real thick. It almost feels like a VHS case. And it's pretty old. It's a pretty old release by Anchor Bay. But it is limited to, I don't know how many, but I have number 9,712. And I don't gotta say anything about this film. Everybody knows what this is. But yeah, so I picked this up used on Amazon for like, I think $6 or something like that. So really good pickup. I'm really happy that I finally got this. Okay, so I did have another Blu-ray. The next one I picked up these recently came out, these comic book type looking, like drawn art steel books of like a bunch of films. I think they released about 30 of them, and you can see them at Walmart. You can find them at, I think they were Walmart exclusives, but then you can find them at like Best Buy. I don't think I saw any at Target, but you could definitely find them other places now. Now they're all over the internet. So I didn't really like the way they looked, and I felt like I would rather get like the standard real steel books. But this one was really cheap. I got this one for $10 because of the coupon. So I picked up the limited edition steelbook of Hot Fuzz. If I had the film already, I wouldn't have bought this. I didn't buy this for the edition that it was, but it does look pretty cool. And I didn't have the film, and I really wanted the film because I actually like this probably a little bit more than Shaun of the Dead. Maybe they're even, but I think I like this one just a little bit more. It's got more comedy. It's like a buddy cop film slash horror slash action film. One second. Anyway, it's done by Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, the same guys that did Shaun of the Dead, and they did Run Fat Boy Run, and they did Paul, which I didn't like too much, and then now they're doing the new movie coming out, World's End, with the robots. But this film is just like a buddy cop film, and it's just like Simon Pegg, he's like a really overachieving cop in his town in England, and he excels at everything he does, and but he gets broken down to like minimal duty in this like small little town. But he can't, he can't turn off what he once was, so he tries to patrol that like it's, like the worst town ever, and he ends up cracking a bunch of people and busting a bunch of people, and then there's like this serial murder that's going around, but everybody claims that it's like a really ongoing joke, like people die in this town all the time by these horrific ways, and everybody thinks it's an accident, but he's onto it, so it's really, really good, and it's really funny too. Excuse me. And the last one I picked up, my girlfriend bought me the standard DVD version of The Evil Dead, the remake, which I love this film. Saw in theaters the week it came out. Absolutely loved it. The best remake that I've ever seen. I would even put it above The Hills Have Eyes and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Blob remake and all those. Those were my favorites at first, but this is not my favorite. I think it came out really, really good. It's much different than the original. There's no real comedy in it. It's just a true dark horror. And no Ash, but that worked for me. And lots of good blood and gore and good graphics. And I'm really hoping they do a sequel. And they do a sequel, I hope it's just as good as the first one. So yeah, I picked that up. And then my prize jewel, which I already did an unboxing video though, but I never did a DVD update, is the Target exclusive steelbook edition of the Evil Dead remake. And this is just a beautiful steelbook. I don't even like touching it too much and getting fingerprints on it, but it's just beautiful. And then there's the back. And it's just the one disc, and I believe it has the digital copy. So anyway, so yeah, that's my little DVD / Blu-ray update. Probably the biggest one I've ever done. Hope this video doesn't run too long, but I do hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will be coming back as soon as I get some more films. All right, later.